What's going on, everybody? I'm here with Bill Gaudet, and we're talking about some interesting programs offered by New Hampshire Housing. So, Bill, we were just chatting a minute before we started this about Home First with New Hampshire Housing. So, talk to me about what is it? What are the benefits? Just the whole deal.
Yeah. So, Home First is a brand new program that New Hampshire Housing rolled out last fall. So, a lot of people don't really even know about it still. It's not to get too technical, but it's a mortgage revenue bond funded program. So it ends up giving you a much better interest rate than a lot of the other loan options out there. So I mean, compared to even New Hampshire Housing's rates, they're about a point or less lower for that program.
Gotcha. That's pretty substantial.
Yeah, and it can be huge, especially in this market. So, so what it is, it's specifically for first-time home buyers that are under a certain income limit, and that's going to be based on the county they're buying in. There are some targeted communities in New Hampshire, so like in the Seacoast area, Portsmouth, Newmarket, Portsmouth, Newmarket, Dover, Rochester, Somersworth.
Gotcha. Okay.
And those are all areas that you do not need to be a first-time home buyer.
Interesting.
Also, veterans that qualify for a VA program can buy whether they're a first-time home buyer or not using this program.
Gotcha. So you can use with Home First, it can be a VA loan that you're doing through Home First. You can already have been a home buyer in the past couple of years. It's not an issue for it.
Exactly. Otherwise, you can't have owned a home in 3 years. That's the definition of first-time home buyer. And then it gets matched with an FHA loan, a VA loan, or a USDA loan, or RD, rural development, that some people call it. So, yeah, you take that. You utilize that. If there's an income limit, again, there's also a purchase price limit.
Gotcha.
So you got to be careful and aware of that. But again, it's a great program and gives you a much better rate. The huge benefit of this program too is that if you don't have a lot of down payment funds, you can add on a $10,000 down payment assistance second loan. And this loan is fully forgivable after 4 years. And during those 4 years, you're not making any payments on it. It just kind of sits there. If you sell your house or decide to refinance your first mortgage in those first 4 years, then it would have to be paid back.
Gotcha.
But as long as you're going to be in that mortgage for 4 years, that's fully forgivable. And it's $10,000 that you can use toward your down payment or closing costs.
That's, that's pretty substantial. And I'm just sitting here thinking about it. Obviously, you said VA, FHA, or USDA, but in the context of a VA loan, right, where you're already getting the benefit with a VA loan of not having mortgage insurance, now you can also take advantage of something with a much lower rate, and you're not, you don't need to be a first-time home buyer. You have that extra advantage with the program for that. So.
Right, and if you were thinking about doing a zero down VA loan, right, zero down VA loan, you could take that $10,000 if you wanted to, and either put it toward a down payment to pay a lower funding fee, or use it toward your closing costs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can see a lot of circumstances with that where there's the potential to not need to bring any cash to closing whatsoever.
Definitely.
And just have it completely covered. Out of my curiosity, for the $10,000, does that get offset if you have a seller credit at all? If the seller's paying any of your closing costs?
It doesn't get offset. You get the full $10,000 regardless.
Gotcha.
It's just, as long as you're owing more money. So what you're going to do is, if let's say you're going to do zero down and the seller's going to cover the closing costs, well, now maybe do 5% down. Awesome. Or put that $10,000 on it, and whatever percentage that comes out to be.
So no matter what, you're getting a benefit.
You're getting a benefit of it. Yeah, you're going to use that whole $10,000. It's going to come off your principal balance pretty much, if you're getting your closing costs covered.
All right, so I think this program is pretty compelling at this point, just kind of talking through it. Talk to me about, for the borrower themselves, right? What are the minimum requirements for them? What does it look like? Roughly?
Yeah, so for the Home First program, as with any New Hampshire housing program, a 620 credit score on your FICO score. 620 FICO score is required. There's an income limit, there's a purchase price limit, and again, that first-time home buyer requirement, unless you're a veteran or in a targeted community.
Gotcha. And we said for targeted communities like Rochester, Dover, and Somersworth, we're all in those?
Yep, Rochester, Dover, and Somersworth in Stratford County, in Rockingham County, Portsmouth, and Newmarket.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay. And then talk to me about income limits, purchase price limits. What does that look like roughly? Yeah,
so the income limits vary anywhere from, all of them are over $100,000. So This is a really easy one. If you make less than $100,000 a year, you're going to qualify for this program for your income. Some of them I think are at 108,000, going up to like 151,000 is the top tier for certain areas, it's like targeted communities like in Portsmouth.
Okay. Wow, that's a huge range. I think for most people who are looking at taking advantage of this,
Yeah.
that would be inside of it.
Exactly.
And then in terms of purchase price limits, I know we had talked about that briefly off camera.
Yeah, 425 I think is the limit for most places. In Rockingham and Stratford County, it's like over 800,000.
Wow. Yeah, I mean that pretty much covers anything you'd be looking at for
Actually, let me
most
check
people.
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Portsmouth over 800,000. No, that's for a 4-unit. So, okay, it's 525.
525 for Portsmouth on that one.
Yeah, we're looking at the conforming limit. So 525 for the target community Portsmouth. Yeah, 525 for the target communities, and then 430.
So 525 targeted communities for including Dover, Rochester, and Somersworth.
Yep.
Which, I mean, that's huge. When you look at what's on the market for those communities at that purchase price, I mean, you're just about getting new construction.
Yeah,
so
you buy a $525,000 house and you make $150,000.
Yeah,
you can buy a house in Rochester.
Yeah, absolutely.
With this program.
So, just kind of recapping it, it's not really limiting you in terms of purchase price in any meaningful way for most people. For the average person who's looking at buying, you're getting a much lower interest rate as a result of this program. You have the option to add $10,000 of cash assistance for closing costs or down payment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm struggling to really see the downsides here. Yeah, I mean,
it's a great program. It's a great program, and one that I'm pushing a lot right now for people because there aren't real downsides to it.
Yeah, 100%. Just, I'm sitting here having this interview with you. If someone wants to get in touch with you about that, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Yeah, give me a call. My cell phone, 603-568-8994. You can shoot me a text message, give me a call, or you can email me. It's wgaudet, Gaudet, at HarborOne.com.
Awesome. Hey, I appreciate you coming out and having a conversation with me, Bill. If anyone has questions about it, shoot them to Bill, or if you just want to shoot me a message, I'll get you his contact info. I mean, this is for first-time home buyers, for anyone looking really anywhere in New Hampshire at this point. This is an awesome program. So, cool. Appreciate it, Bill.